Full felicity.
Let me begin with politics.
Let me begin with
Politics.
2-2 tomorrow. The score. 2-2 tomorrow. The score.
वो आप लोग का आकलन हो सकता है, आप लोग का आकलन
हमारे लिए तो भारतीय जनता पार्टी कल भी विजयी था, पार्टी कल भी विजयी होगा और कल आज भी विजयी होगा और कल भी विजयी।
क्या बात है? ऐसे में आपको जाने नहीं दूंगा। ऐसे में आपको
मध्य
जाने
प्रदेश
नहीं
और
दूंगा।
राजस्थान में आपको क्या लगता
मध्य
है?
प्रदेश और राजस्थान में आपको क्या लगता है?
दोनों जीते, विनिंग वेरी कंफर्टेबली। मध्य प्रदेश और राजस्थान में भारतीय जनता पार्टी की विजय होने वाली है।
और छत्तीसगढ़ और
छत्तीसगढ़ का ट्रेडिशनली छत्तीसगढ़ चुनाव देखे हैं, here or there, we percent here or there, many elections experience 1 or 2% and the elections 1 or 2% and the elections in Chhattisgarh. The difference this time is Bastar has been very good for the BJP, has been very traditionally a weak link, which was traditionally a weak link in our. So looking at the feedback we got in Bastar, we may end up with a good win.
What do you think of the Congress? What do you think emphatic victory that seems to be coming Congress's way in Telangana?
अच्छा है थोड़ा बहुत जीतते रहे, जिससे राहुल गांधी फोकस पे रहे, और हमारे लिए एक अच्छी प्रतिस्पर्धा में राहुल बाबा सामने रहने चाहिए।
They won Karnataka, they won Telangana. They could also win Chhattisgarh. They could also win Chhattisgarh. Could this mean something in 2024? Could this mean something in 2024? I remember you had predicted quite accurately before the results were out, that the BJP would get 303. What is your number for 2024? What is your number for 2024?
I would normally do that, not based on some number out of the hat. Traditionally, I would do that because we were running surveys and we were getting feedback from all over the country. Looking at Prime Minister Narendra Modi's popularity ratings at the current moment. In fact, on a lighter note, only 2 weeks ago in San Francisco, the Mexican president was talking to me about Prime Minister Modi's popularity from 2014 until now. At the international level. And he was not remembering the morning consult name, which I. And then you know what he says proudly. 14 to 23. 14 every single week. Every single week, top of the charts. Modi has been worldwide. Top of the charts. But worldwide. 1 week. But 9.5 years. He says 1 week. He says 1 week. I beat Mr. Modi to it. And he was so immensely happy about that. But on a more serious note, the way I look at the country's picture, I see very little possibility of losing any seats in the 303 seats that we had won. You may land up with an occasional mishap here or there, but chances are that most of the northern belt, the northwestern belt, that's Himachal, Uttarakhand, Delhi, Rajasthan, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, which gave us a clean sweep, except one seat, Chhindwara, which we had lost last time,
yes,
where now this time we're going to work to win. I think the entire belt was a clean sweep and we'll continue to get that. Uttar Pradesh, last time we got about 64 seats.
That's right.
My own sense is this time we'll go for the jugular. We'll be looking at 80.
80.
But in any case, we are not going to be less than 77, 78 in Uttar Pradesh. What Yogi Adityanath has done in Uttar Pradesh is brought back sanity in that state, law and order, and some of the best sports girls that we just now met. He's brought confidence in the people of UP back again. And by the way, we won Rampur also. So we are looking at a 77, 78 haul in UP, which gives us an additional 13 seats. Chhattisgarh, we had 10 out of 11. Maybe we'll repeat that. Maybe we'll be 1 or 2 seats plus or minus. West Bengal, we had 18. We could go up to 20 this time because if you recall last time the Calcutta belt we missed out.
Right.
Karnataka will again have a clean sweep. Maharashtra, the BJP on its own will gain some seats. We had 23. This time we hope to go up to 27, 28 at least.
So that gives an indication that you're fighting more than that.
We'll be looking at winning 330, 335 seats this time around.
Wow.
given the blessings of the people of India.
So you
of
are
course.
saying you will not lose in Karnataka, you will not lose seats in Karnataka,
No,
not in West Bengal,
Karnataka
not in the South.
Karnataka mein main chunav mein jata tha, wherever I went, even when they said that they would not vote for the BJP in the local assembly election, the same breath they would say, but for Delhi, Modi is our leader.
330 is a huge number.
Plus.
335, you said. 335 plus.
Plus.
Okay. That is a huge number. All of opposition coming together, they put one candidate against the BJP across the country. 335, that's a huge one.
Rahulji, you are such an experienced political analyst. Now, for all of your viewers, tell me one vote that Ms. Mamta Banerjee will add anywhere outside West Bengal. Show me one vote that Akhilesh Yadav can add outside the state of Uttar Pradesh. What will Uddhav Thackeray add anywhere outside Maharashtra? In fact, now he has no party left in Maharashtra. I suspect he won't be adding any votes to that conglomeration, even in Maharashtra. So if you look at the individual elements of this UPA in its new format and new name, I don't think they really bring much to the table. On the contrary, there'll be a serious risk of erosion of votes because first of all, they cannot decide a leader. Second, if they do decide the leader that we would like them to decide, then we may look at bigger numbers than 330. Thirdly, if they don't come up with a leader and they're going to fight a disparate set of individuals, then I think the people of India don't want the kind of coalition politics they've seen for 30 years before Mr. Modi came in. We don't want a corrupt government or a government which gives excuses of compulsions of coalition politics. Country today wants a decisive leader, a leader who means business, a leader who delivers, who's made us the 5th largest economy in the world, who commits to make us the 3rd largest in the next 3 or 4 years, and who guarantees to make us a prosperous, a developed nation when we celebrate 100 years of independence.
You know, the tendency of the BJP is always to frame the election as Modi versus Rahul Gandhi. You know, you also began by saying that. Do you think that Rahul Gandhi's perception has improved a little bit after Bharat Jodo Yatra? And you know, you have some state elections to back. Karnataka, they won after that. Telangana, if they win, is another one, which could be a big victory. Chhattisgarh, anti-incumbency, you know, and they still could likely get.
We respect the verdict of the people. Every election is a standalone election. And we must grant that they have won Karnataka. We must grant that they won a few states. Himachal they had won. But that is part of politics. That's the way public life is. There are several factors in each election. But at the national stage, the way the country has progressed in the last 10 years, the kind of benefits that the people of India have got without discrimination, बिना भेदभाव के देश के कोने-कोने तक जिस प्रकार से विकास पहुंची है, the empowerment of the common man, सशक्तिकरण की जो हमारी कल्पना है, and the saturation of various government programs so that the young man and woman of India move away from the day-to-day problems of roti, kapda, makan, pani, bijli, sadak, swasth, shiksha. We've taken all of these out of the lexicon of an Indian. Today these are granted for every family. And that's where 140 crore Indians derive inspiration to aspire for a better quality of life. What Mr. Modi has done is changed the aspiration of a common man. He is now looking at a good quality of life. He is now looking for the good things of life. And that is what is driving the Indian economy, that even in the Q2 this year, now we've grown 7.6%, far beyond every analyst, including your channel, by the way.
One thing we were just discussing earlier in the evening was that if some exit polls have predicted that, you know, Congress could win Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh could be a landslide for the BJP, one CEO was saying that if that were to happen, he really worries about the future of the country because that means that this whole freebie culture is really winning. How serious is this a problem? What Narendra Modi has called the Revdi culture.
Well, very clearly, Prime Minister Modi believes that we have to empower people, not weaken them. We should not be looking at a society of people dependent on doles or dependent on government gratis, which is why all his programs are focused on saturation to every individual and every family. He never discriminates on the basis of caste, religion, creed, language. We don't look at any state from the lens of whether they voted for the BJP or didn't vote for the BJP. Our effort is that good things happen in everybody's lives. We empower them to be more aspirational, to look at a brighter future for the children. The demographics are in our favor. We have an under 30 population today, and we are expected to be under 30 for the next 30 years. This young population in a country which has two-thirds of its people in the working age is going to drive demand in the country. The culture of quality and sustainability is seeped into the nation today. And my sense is, in less than 30 years, this young under 30 population will add $30 trillion to our economy. By 2047, we'll have a per capita income of close to $20,000, and that's going to be the future which will drive India to greater heights.
We'll see what happens tomorrow, and I'll come back to you with more questions after the results are out. In the meanwhile, another important issue, and a burning one, is that Canada's allegations, what they call credible allegations against India's involvement in Nijjar's killing. More recently, US has also said the same thing about a conspiracy to assassinate Panun. How do you react to this?
Well, India believes in the rule of law. We are very, very proud that this is a country which goes strictly by the rules of the land and rules of international diplomacy. Under any condition, under any circumstances, I don't think anybody in India can ever imagine government-sponsored activities of the type that are being alleged. We are already seeing that there were internecine fights amongst the criminal ganglines, both in Canada, we've seen that in the US. Whoever is responsible for it should be brought to the books. We have already instituted an inquiry to find out if there's any more details. But I can assure you that the government of India doesn't do these things. Government of India, the people of India, if at all we had to really get down to this kind of activity, there were much bigger fish after which the country would have gone for many years. I think we are a country which is proudly a country which upholds the rule of law, and whatever may be the allegations, I'm very confident that all of those would be baseless.
Emphatic answer from Piyush Goyal here. I know it's been a long evening and I will not take much time, but I'll have to ask you a few questions on business and economy. Not a better time to be asking you questions on this. Nifty is scaling a peak of, it's breached even the 21,000 mark. Q to GDP at 7.6%. So all looks good. But, if we look at China, in 2007, China's GDP was about $3.5 trillion, which is the same as ours today. The per capita income is also almost the same as ours today. So if you look at it in income terms, we are 17 years behind China. So while all the hype is there around, I heard the Cisco chairman say that India will be the largest economy in the world. How soon can we catch up with China, and how?
Well, I've been doing some maths around this. Even if we were to grow in real terms at, say, 7%, for argument's sake. Though personally, my belief is, given the strong fundamentals of our economy today, given the fact that we have a young working age population in the country today, and the enthusiasm that you see amongst the youth of India today, my sense is we'll be accelerating our growth as we move forward, particularly with the large investments being made in technology, the large investments being made in building infrastructure for tomorrow, the focus on renewables and sustainability, and on meeting the Sustainable Development Goals, I do believe that we'll be inching up to a double-digit growth number. But even if for a moment we take 7%, and we look at about 4% or so as our inflation level, 4.5%, which has been the average of the last 9.5 years, the lowest that independent India has ever seen in a decade. We are at nominal growth of about 11.5%. The rupee is quite stable. In fact, we've outperformed most other emerging economies. Even if we were to depreciate a percent or 1.5%, we are growing at 10% in US dollar terms. So about 7 years to double our economy, 7.5 years to double our economy in US dollar terms. Well, it should not take more than 25, 26 years to 27 years to be a $35 trillion economy.
That is the target the Prime Minister has also set recently. So I can't let you go without asking a question on inflation. Inflation is making and breaking governments around the world. I know you've got a crucial job of running the Consumer Affairs Ministry. You've sold onions in the market to control prices. You've launched affordable Bharat brand of atta. What is your message to consumers, traders, and the farmers about food inflation?
Well, I was a boy from Mumbai, पर अब मुझे आलू प्याज का दाम भी रोज सुबह देखना पड़ता है when I get up in the morning. But it's truly been an enriching experience working in the Consumer Affairs Ministry and the Food Ministry. In fact, when the Honorable Prime Minister took the decision to give free food grains to 81.35 crore Indians for the next 5 years, it really was a matter of great satisfaction and happiness. And I still remember, incidentally, I was in Mumbai the day that file came for signature. And it was a poignant moment for me signing the file under Prime Minister Modi's directions, ensuring that the people of India will get free food grains so that no child in our country ever has to sleep hungry. At the same time, if you look at the prices over the last 10 years, by and large, inflation has been under control. We've seen the occasional spurt, particularly post the Ukraine war, where we saw inflation go up from 4.5% to 7%. But this is the strength of India today. There was a time, 10 years ago, when 10-12% inflation was the norm. I mean, Uday Bhai is here, Adil Bhai is here, they'll all remember the days when we wouldn't be surprised if we saw a number of 9-10% inflation. Today, the people of India have become so demanding that even from 4.5% to 6.5% or 7% is not acceptable. And that's what we like about the new India. The fact that the country is becoming aspirational and demanding. Onions has seen a little bit of a problem. The last time around the crop was low. Then the rains got delayed. So Kharif crop has got delayed by about 2 weeks. We've had late Kharif. And recently we've had rains coming back again. But we've taken effective steps. We've introduced a minimum export price to bring down the exports of onions. At the same time, when onion, before that tomatoes went up, we've launched atta, Bharat atta. I'm thinking of launching Bharat rice. So I'll become a large retailer very soon. Idea being to make sure the poor, less privileged sections of society can get their staple diet, their day-to-day needs at an affordable price. This is a proactive government. We remain a step ahead of the curve, and I can assure the people of India that we'll make sure that you continue to get your foodstuffs at affordable price, high-quality, good stuff.
Piyush ji, we're running out of time. Just one or two quick questions. You were in the US recently and you toured Tesla. When is Tesla setting up in India?
Well, I think Mr. Elon Musk is so active on X that he will be the person who will let us know when Tesla is setting up in India. But I can tell you one thing for sure. The age of electric vehicles has arrived. Today, in terms of two-wheeler sales, another 2 or 3 years and I see almost 100% of new two-wheeler sales being electric. In three-wheelers, we are almost already close to 100% electric three-wheelers. Some of them may be CNG driven. In four-wheelers, we are still only barely 2%, about 50,000 cars out of, less than 2%, 50,000 cars out of 4 million cars, which are sold, four-wheeler cars. But I do know that Maruti doesn't have a model as yet. They are planning to come out with something soon. Tata's is already active in the electric vehicle space. Mahindra's has come out with some fantastic offerings. So we'll have Tata, we'll have Mahindra. I do believe Maruti Suzuki, after their merger with Toyota, they already have hybrids, but they are now coming out with an electric version in the next 6-8 months. We'll see a lot of action on four-wheelers. Therefore, Tesla would not like to miss the bus. And I had made a prediction, I think it was on your channel. You have an Overdrive Award?
Yes.
Okay, so it was at the Hyatt Regency in Delhi, either in 2016 or 2017, while presenting the Overdrive Awards, like a similar function like today. When I just made an off-the-cuff remark, I saw Pawan Goenka somewhere here. Pawan was in that program. And I just made an off-the-cuff comment that by 2030, I see all the cars being sold in India being electric vehicles. Today, I feel strengthened to say that is right before my eyes. Another 7 years, and every new vehicle sold in India will be an electric vehicle. Can you imagine the game-changing dimension to the national economy?
Yes.
When we reduce our crude oil imports, when our petrol diesel consumption comes down, imagine the strength the Indian economy will have. Imagine the reduction in carbon or the fuel smoke that we see all over the country, all over the cities. So I do believe we are well on track. Tesla cannot afford to miss the bus. They will want the large domestic Indian market.
Thank you for that answer, and thank you for this interaction, Piyushji. He celebrated his wedding anniversary yesterday, so very, very happy wedding anniversary to Seemaji and Piyushji. Thank you so much.
And we celebrated watching Mamma Mia at Jio. And I would strongly recommend to those of you who want to tap your feet and remember the good old days of ABBA, something worth watching. It's truly world class. And just before I conclude, a little piece of information. I was asking Rahul, why was this function not held at Jio? And he tells me they didn't get placed there. It was all sold out.
Arm's length relationship. Thank you, Piyushji.
Thank you, Mr. Goyal and Mr. Joshi, for sharing your invaluable perspectives. Request the Honourable Minister actually to stay back on stage. Mr. Goyal, if you can come back on stage for just the next few set of awards. Well, initiating the next set of awards with the Breakout Brand of the Year. Now, this award recognizes homegrown local brands that have created a distinct niche, has been created ideally by a first-generation entrepreneur foraying into the world of business.
Let's have a look at the journey of this breakout brand.
K-Beauty, the brainchild of actor and entrepreneur Katrina Kaif, thrives successfully in the fast-evolving beauty and personal care market. The sector, currently valued at $11.6 billion, is experiencing an 11% growth year-on-year basis. And in this competitive space, Katrina Kaif has emerged as visionary by offering a diverse range of makeup and skincare products.